Do-do-do-do, it's Chemdork.
Hello everyone, this is Chemdork, and welcome to episode 29 of Season 2 of my Buildcraft, where we are playing Minecraft with the mods Buildcraft, Forestry, and Thermal Expansion installed. So after the previous episode, we were updating to Minecraft 1.6.4, and the world broke. Yay! Well, okay, some features had to be changed and addressed because of the updates to the mods. Mostly the update to Thermal Expansion, which gave us a completely new power system to deal with in that mod, and meanwhile, Forestry and Buildcraft are still using Minecraft Joules. So, this episode is going to be dealing with some repairs to the base, namely the weird thermal expansion energy conduits we need to do this to. We need to get rid of some of these cheaty creative energy cells that popped up all over our base. And we need to, most importantly, get back our liquids, because we lost them. We lost all the fuel and oil, and now we don't have power to generate more fuel and oil, so we basically have to start from scratch. So I started pumping oil. As you see, I've finished pumping oil. This is all full. That's just awful. So let's go ahead and go down to the refinery and start the work. So, and on the way, let's do this. I've been doing this a little bit. Get rid of those creative energy cells. We'll keep the energy conduits. We'll probably turn these into hardened energy conduits in due time, or at least some of them. Because if you look, let me just bring up NEI here. Please note, guys, I don't use NEI in cheaty mode. I use it only in what is this? The recipe mode. Yep. So I can get some of this information. Okay. So in terms of the energy conduits, there's leadstone energy conduit, which only allows travel of 80 redstone flux per tick, which is equivalent of 8 Minecraft joules. So it's not much. Then there's a hardened one, which is much more, so that's up to 40 Minecraft joules per tick, or 400 redstone flux. And then redstone energy conduit, which is crazy. It's like 1,000 redstone flux per tick. This is a little more involved to make, and we don't have a need for it unless we actually have that much current going through it. We could, but not necessarily right away. So we're going to start from the beginning, essentially, again, because we don't really have power generation at this point. Because our power plant looks like this. Oh, goodness. So we'll have to get rid of everything here. And likewise, we will have to address this, because we need some fuel. Notice we lost all the fuel that was in this tank, and that was just a consequence of losing the liquids in the mud. Oh. Huh. It's actually pulling. It's good to know that the redstone engines still don't... yeah, don't die like that. Okay, that's good. Whoops, didn't notice that. Let's eat some apples, because that's what we do. Anyway, like I was saying, we don't have any power to run these refineries right here. We also don't have, but we need to, because we lost all the liquids in our tanks. So we have to regenerate the fuel here from the oil. So we kind of have to go back to square one, but this time we do it with some resources, kind of unlike we normally do. But first, what I'm going to end up doing is kind of redoing this whole system. And the first step to that is removing just about everything here. We're going to kind of rethink this whole plan, and I think I'll make use of this time to actually... I'm going to clear out this wall for now. But I'm actually going to... Yeah, remember all this redstone stuff? Cool, right? But I'm actually going to use this time to get rid of some of this stuff and revamp the whole system here. So let me get rid of some stuff here, and we will be right back and get to work on this crap. Get rid of this stuff. Come on, come on, come on. All right, see you in a bit. Well, this is looking a little different, isn't it? Now, previously we had our refineries right here, but we're going to be revamping this entire system, and that's what we're going to be doing today in the episode. I don't think we're going to get to the power plant, but that's all right. We're gonna first step is to generate fuel that we can use for our power plant, right? And then there's a bunch of other boring stuff that I'll have to do to sort of fix the base a little more, but in the meantime, let's build our refinery system. So we're going to have it in two sections like before, only before we had this just empty and all the refineries were here and they were powered by our power plant. In this sort of 2.0 version, we're going to have it completely automated and operate independently of the power plant. So it's going to have its own little mini power plant that is purposed for only generating power for the refineries. So the refineries are actually going to be here. 1, 2, 3 of them. I'm going to pull out the oil or the fuel that's generated from below. And we're going to supply the oil from the back, pretty much like we always do. It's just more efficient to set it up this way. I like it set up this way. I don't know. I'm going to pull it out of the bottom. I guess I'll pull it out of here. This seems fine. I'm going to use an Alt-Archic gate to do it. Just running redstone, and that's it. So I'll set up the power for that later, but there we go. That works. So that's just going to run it directly here. And then what's going to happen is when these generate fuel, it's going to generate the fuel and move it to one of two locations. It's going to go to this tank. This is for some fuel storage. You see it's only 3 high. It's no big deal. And then the other place is going to be here, and this is going to be used as it was before for the fuel in our power supply, or on our main power plant. But this is actually going to be used as a mini storage area for the power plant, which will be over here. And we're going to be using combustion engines, which I will cool with aqueous accumulators. So I think we're going to just put it right here, here, and here, and here. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable place to put them. That's I'll have to do it this way. I think it's always a good idea to only have them going up, because otherwise they kind of sort of seem like they supply liquid only to themselves. It's kind of a weird thing. Since I'll need buckets of water, I don't actually have them now, but we'll put them on top here. And then I actually need some kinesis pipes because, oh yes, so I could generate power for these refineries using thermal expansion. But I've decided I want to use Buildcraft because it is fun, it is cooler in that regard, and I just like it. Yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, there's no other fancy way of saying it. What I'll probably do, let's see, I kind of want to have, let's see, I guess that means these pipes for transporting the fuel are going to have to be down here. There's going to be 2 iron ones and a cobblestone. Now, you don't generate fuel, that much of fuel anyways, at a time, so I don't really need much here. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to run, so I guess I'll actually run this going up and kind of over here. It doesn't really matter where I put it. I am going to put an iron pipe there, and you'll see why in a minute. We're actually going to use that for some fanciness. That's right, fanciness. And I am going to run this to the ceiling and just kind of run it in the ceiling here. It's going to be going all the way around here. We're going to be dealing with that later. And I think just kind of right to here. Yeah, this is reasonable. This is a reasonable path for this to take. It makes complete sense. I might even make it look better. Well, we'll just keep it like that for now. I need some kinesis pipes though, so I'll be right back, and I want to make sure I have like the pipe wire and everything that I might need, and yeah, okay, so I'll be right back. Phase 1 is kind of complete. I don't know. I'll be back. There's some materials I need. Okay, I lie. I have the resources, but not all of them. We are going to just sort of set up the system first, and then we're going to put the logic in after that. So first we're going to put in this power. We're going to be using actually gold kinesis pipes, even though that's a little overkill. They can transport 256 Minecraft joules per tick. In total, if we have, in total these combustion engines can, oh, it doesn't say the max, but the max output is going to be 6 Minecraft joules per tick with fuel. So that's a total of 24, so we don't need a lot of this. But that's fine. We're not going to be using a lot of kinesis pipes anyways in the world. Oh, come on. Really? Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, so we're going to be doing it this way. Plus gold looks cool, right? So that's always a good thing. And I'm actually just going to run it through the wall. Because That is going to be awesome looking. We are going to have to knock down this window. That's fine. That's fine. No big deal. No biggie. No biggie. Yeah, no biggie. We're just going to make it kind of prettier out here. Who cares? It's not even going to be... Yeah, perfect. Awesome. I don't care. It's fine. Okay, let's run it like that. Put in some nice stone, because stone is pretty as well, and there we go. Oh, what? There we go. Okay, so that's running. That's going to be running behind, and then it's going to be using... Yeah, it's going to be coming, obviously. Whoa, not up. What is going on there? Come on. Grab it. Oh my goodness. There we go. We're going to be running it here, and right into there. Perfect. Okay, so that's perfect. Everything's running now, or everything's good now. Alt-Archic gates, we are going to have these just function when there's fluid in the tank? I think so. Wait, actually, work scheduled. There's too bad there's no, like, on, but if there's work scheduled, they're going to have them run. Yeah, I think that makes sense, because what that means is they won't run unless there's fluid in the tanks, meaning like there's oil in the tanks to be processed. That's what work scheduled means. It doesn't mean they're running. It means they could be running. So if they could be running, then we're going to have them transport stuff out. Cool. So that's one part of it. The other part is going to be... Whoops, there we go. The other part is going to be using this gate. So in terms of the transport of fluid, we'll take care of that first. So the fluid transport is going to be pulled out here. This is just going to be redstone controlled. I think I already put in the logic for that in the gate. Yep, okay. So that's easy. That's how you get oil to the refineries. That's a manual thing right now. I might automate it in the future, but that's going to be manual for the time being. These are automatic. It's going to automatically turn on these alt-archic gates when there is oil in these refinery tanks in the back to be processed. Once there is, these will be running anyways because of the logic we'll put in place, but these three will run, it'll pump the fuel here, and it'll go here first. Now I want it to go here first, and then travel onward to this tank. At this point, oh, I need to fix these, where we're going to need some more redstone stuff. So let me get some pipe gates and wires and such, and then we'll come back to this. Hello. Well, would you look at that? I have what I need, kind of. Well, I should. I just basically brought everything I could possibly need, and then that kind of covers me, right? Okay, first of all, let's get an ore gate here, an iron ore gate. So I'll show you what I want to do. Alright, so let's go the fluid system first, like I was saying, and then work on the power system. So the fluid system first indicates that these are going to be pulling when there is work to be scheduled in these refineries. And then it'll go and fill up this first is what I want. So what I want to happen here is have a state where... Oh, we actually want a gold ore gate, I think, here. Yeah. Let's put a gold ore gate here. Gold ore gate. There we go. What I want to happen is a few different possibilities. So if the tank is empty, this is the cool part about, this is what I didn't cover. With iron gates, iron pipes, both the valve, the fluid pipes, and the item pipes, you have this awesomeness. You can actually dictate the direction of the pipe using a gate, which is great. It's like an independent direction. Usually, in the past, you had to kind of like cycle redstone signals to these things, and it was really weird. You had to do like, well, hold on, wait. You had to do like weird stuff like this. You see how it cycles between the three different positions? And it was really annoying. You had to kind of trick it with a wooden pipe and then do weird stuff. But actually what we can do now is, let's see, this is west. So what we're going to have is if there's space for fluid, we're going to have a west pipe direction, which is this. If there is tank full, we're going to have a, it's a north pipe direction, which should be that. good. So it'll be this means that when the tank has space or room for fluid, it's going to put fluid in there. And then once it's full, it's going to go to the other tank. So this ensures that this tank always remains full. And then we're actually going to have to run some fuel to these tanks, but we'll do that in a minute. Yeah, we'll do that after this is done. All right, so then actually let's go over here. I am going to need a signal from this guy. So I want to know when he is full, and we're going to actually send a pipe signal. We're going to send a red pipe signal. Well, actually, you know what? We already have a gold gate there. Let's actually send a... here we go. Good. Right-click with it. Let's actually send a blue pipe signal and use gold gates for this. All right, so this is a gold AND gate. That's fine. That could be AND or, but basically when the tank is full, I want to send a... you have to actually give it a pipe wire here first. Okay, when a tank is full, send a blue pipe signal. All right, that's fine. And then what this is going to also say is that when this tank is full, do a blue pipe signal. So this should function, since it's an OR gate, it'll function on sort of any of these if they are true. So at least I think that's the case. And what that's going to be is essentially a stop. Everything stops when that happens. So yeah, that'll work. That'll work out all right, I think. I actually do kind of want to rerun this pipes to be kind of maybe in front of here so that we can use that. Yeah, I guess maybe I should, right? Yeah, I probably should. All right, I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, well, I found a better way of doing it, and that was just to run a structural pipe here. So the blue wire is now run to here. It's also coming to here, yada, yada, yada. So blue basically means there's no room. So when blue is on, it means shut down the system. So we're going to have some iron. These are gold AND gates that are going to specify a few different types of states. We need to specify that these engines are fine, that there is fuel in the engines, and I think we can specify that using here. So the engine status must be blue. We're going to specify that there's fluid in the tank. Right now it's true, but I think we can specify that it's either, that or... Yeah, okay, cool. So that's going to work. So right now it's fine. Actually, we're going to specify oil in the beginning. And then it's going to specify where the... Let's see. Wait. There you go. Blue pipe signal is off, which is true. And we don't have a red pipe signal now. Yet, I should say. But we are going to have one. Okay, so I need to move it here. And then it's going to actually come from... You know what? Let's just put another structural pipe here. Or we could actually run it just behind. That's fine. We're going to run it in... We're going to run it here. I'm going to run it all the way down there. Oh, I don't know if it works. Okay, this should work just fine. Okay, I'll try to run this here. I think it's running it. Yeah, okay, it's all the way down there. That's good. And then come back up and go here. And actually I will... Oh, you can shift right click now, which is great for removing these. That's the best way, and I think I actually do need some structural pipe to bridge this gap, because you see how it doesn't want to bridge the gap? I don't know if it actually isn't, or it just doesn't want to anymore. I'm not sure, but whatever, it's fine. We'll just put some structural pipe right there, and then come back to here. Oops. There, and come on, there. All right, I think that, yeah, that works. Alright, so that works, except these need to be, we're going to actually have these as, God, it's great, shift right click for removing these just works awesome. As it should, but it works just fine. It's just a really nice feature that we didn't have in the past. Iron, no, not an OR gate, an iron, Alt-Archic iron OR gate. There we go. So there, and then we're going to have if there is, what is it? work scheduled, energy pulsar. If there is work scheduled, also send out a red pipe signal. All right, cool. Work scheduled, red pipe signal. Well, yeah, work scheduled, energy pulse, work scheduled, red pipe signal. Okay, so that means if there is oil in behind here ready to be refined into fuel, send out a red pipe signal. That red pipe signal will go all the way over to here, and we'll be able to use this to say, make sure there is a red pipe signal. Yay! So doing all of these means that we want to output a redstone signal. So this, in total, all of these have to be true in order to output a redstone signal, which will turn on this tank, not this engine. So it needs to have status of blue. Oh, that means when it runs in green, it's not. Okay, so this is... you know what? Let's just... It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Man, that's weird. Okay, well, we can specify it a different way, but for now this will work just fine. No, it won't. Crap. Not red. I want it to be not red. Is there a way to do that? Engine red. There is kind of a way to do that. We kind of can do it another way. I got an idea. Okay, I got an idea. We're going to be running pipes back here, right? So let's, actually, you know what? I need to run those. So I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Well, this is actually getting kind of complicated, but I think we'll be fine. So we actually end resource intensive because we're going to use diamond gates here. Ooh, diamond. Because we need to use some other pipe wire, namely green. Can gold talk to green? It cannot. Okay, which is fine. That's not a big deal. Not a big deal. We're just not going to be able to use gold anymore. That's fine. Yeah, well, I kind of knew that anyways. That's fine. That's fine. We're going to need to make some more gates, but we need to make power first. So, but we're going to use our diamond and gates here instead. So these are just some nice, expensive refinery. This is a very expensive refinery. Because in the back here, we're also going to have... Where are those? Oh, we already placed them. Okay, so these are the... well, anyways. These are going to need some green pipe wire. Green, green, and green. Okay, so what this is going to say is that if the engine status is red, send a green pipe signal. Engine red, send a green pipe signal. Engine red, send a green pipe signal. Engine red, send a green pipe signal. And this is going to be our like full stop. So we obviously don't want these things to explode. So that would be, yeah, that would be a bad thing, right? So let's, I think we gotta do it this way, just because it seems to want to do that. Down, there, and down, there, and down. Okay, good. So now these are iron, and we're going to do other things. Okay, so we need it to be green off, which means that it is not red. The engine is not in the red state. We need it to be blue off as well, which means there is room for fluid, because remember, the blue signal goes on when the tanks get full. We need it to be where there is fluid in the tank, and that fluid is going to be in the beginning. It's going to be oil. We need to make sure, you know what, let's make sure there's fluid in the tank as well. That is water, just in case there's something going wrong. Is that it? Oh, there's one more. There needs to be a red signal. Where's the red pipe? Yes, red signal needs to be on. The red signal means, recall, oh, wait, get over here. The red signal means that there is work scheduled in here. It means it's ready to work, so that we need as well. So red signal needs to be on as well. So all of these need to be true in order to make a redstone signal. Okay, that makes sense. Am I missing anything? No, it's cool. I think that's good. Yeah, that's it. So it needs to have room for fluid in this tank or that tank. There needs to be oil in this tank. These have to be not red in their status. And there has to be both water and some sort of fuel in the tank. In this case, I've specified oil in the beginning, but we're going to change this to fuel once we start generating fuel. So I'm going to set this up here. And I think that'll kind of be it. We can also set this up for automatic renewal as well, which is going to be awesome. But we're gonna wait on that one for a minute. Let me set up these, and then I think we're just about ready to start to run the system. So let me do that. I'll be right back. Alrighty, we are ready. So all of these show something that's good. I kind of messed up here. I think I'll just do that. It's fine. Yeah, all these should be fine. Again, work is scheduled. The engine is in a non-red state. The blue pipe signal off means that there's space for fluid in the tank. In the main fuel collection tanks, there is a combustible thing. This will be fuel after this is spent all its oil, and there's also water in the tank as well. Okay, cool. So that's great, and we're gonna have that's automatically running. We never have to mess with our power plants. What we are going to do though is start this going. So we're gonna start to pump some fuel into here. Oh, that's what that is. Or I'm sorry, some oil into here. So these guys will up. So it's now, work is now scheduled. Whoops. So that's why the red signal's on, and it reaches all the way over here. And now it's, gosh. And now it's reading that the red pipe signal is on. So everything is satisfied except there needs to be oil in here. So I will go ahead and give these guys some oil. Here. Here, here, and here. Sweet. Okay, cool. There it goes. So that's great. Now these guys are running. They are very slowly generating. This is not generating that much power right now. It's only 3 Minecraft joules per tick, so in total it's 12, so it's half capacity. So these guys are very slowly going to be generating fuel, but it is happening. And it is first going into here. Great. That's perfect. All right, not much is being generated. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. These guys are humming along, no problems. All right, cool. So it's actually working, the system. Now let's make it a little bit better. So when, yeah, let's make it a little better here. So we are filling up the tanks here. Yeah. Okay. So let me actually just let this run for a little bit, and then I'll be back. Just realized something. This is actually really bad. If this tank is full, it sends out a blue signal, but that's the only time we'll actually be sending fuel over there. So this actually shouldn't have a blue pipe wire. So I should just be able to, yay, good. Good, good, good. So I'm going to get rid of this. The blue pipe wire is only going to register if this tank is full. Yay! All right, so this doesn't, oh, come on, stop it. This doesn't need anything whatsoever. So we're just gonna leave that. I think, yeah, okay. So that removes itself. So this is just a, yep, do that or that. It doesn't need to be gold, but it is because it's fun. All right, so we're actually gonna automate while this thing is going. So it's doing its thing just fine. We are generating heat, but cooling it down very efficiently. Great. But it's also oil, so it doesn't use that much. Oh, it's almost out of oil, too. Well, we're going to be having to use fuel soon. So let me just give one little thing of oil there. One little... Oh, we did it to the same one. We can always actually take oil from here. I think that's what we're going to do. Just for the time being, we're going to run this on oil, but then we are going to move into... running this on, crap, I need to know one more. Running this on fuel. Once we generate a decent amount of fuel, that's what I'm going to do. There we go. Okay, and what's really nice also is that they changed the way these combustion engines work. They now, once, if you're supplying a constant redstone current, before you had to wait for it to cool all the way down, and then you had to turn off that redstone current and put it back on in order for it to run. Now you can just supply a constant redstone current, and once it reaches a safe temperature for operating, it'll then run. So it's no big deal. So you don't have to wait for this to fully cool down before you give them a redstone current again. It's pretty cool. All right, so we're generating okay, but let's set up this system to automatically fill these tanks. All right, so we're going to have to use gold and a blue pipe wire because the red pipe wire is running right on this conductive pipe. So we need gold here. So there's going to be gold, gold, gold. And what I'm going to have it set is if there is fluid in tank, that's fine. Now, if there's space for fluid, and that fluid needs to be, if there's space for oil, send out a blue signal. So we need blue wire. Whoops. Yeah, okay. Send out a blue pipe signal. Okay. That's good. And I'll run it to here. I'm going to get rid of that. And then we're going to use our Alt-Arctic Gold Gate. Let me get rid of that guy. Put one here. And if he gets a blue pipe signal, going to do a energy pulsar. Okay, so that's what it is. It's going to be kind of fluttering here a little, so that I think that'll be okay. So space for fluid, oil, send out a blue signal, space for fluid, oil, send out a blue pipe signal. Okay, so this will kind of be flickering a little bit. I hope that'll work and won't like totally shut down the system, so that'll be fine. And here we're actually not going to say work scheduled energy pulsar. We're actually going to have it set to do, for energy pulsar, we're going to have it set to do fluid in tank. No, you know what? We are going to have it that way because I've seen it before, where if you set it for fluid in tank to be fuel, this kind of thing kind of like goes on a conniption. It just sort of like flutters a little bit as it's generating. So I want to avoid that. All right, so it's generating fuel. This is good. Yeah, I'm going to let it do that. We're going to be doing a little other things around the base now while we generate some fuel. Cool. I think this will work. I'll be right back. So, and then we'll be doing some other things. Well, if the lack of apples gives you any indication, it's almost the end of the episode. Now, we're going to have time to do a little bit more down there and sort of finish off the refinery, but I'm just going to show you kind of what I've been doing here, or at least what we are going to be doing. I might not record all of this, but basically, as I mentioned before, all of these machines in thermal expansion are now, they work, but there's like no faces to them. So you actually have to remove them and then place them back, and then they're okay. And then they look fine again, like that one. A bit weird. I also have to get rid of these creative energy cells that are popping up exactly where the other energy cells used to be. I am also needing to remove these redstone lamps. And actually what I found out is that you can right-click them with a wrench and it kind of sets their properties. So there's like a different, yeah, I guess there's different ways. Like I'm going to do the default on, which is it's on by default, and then if you supply it with a redstone current, it turns off. That's pretty cool. So you can set it like always on, always off. It's pretty cool and proportional, which I think is proportional to the strength of the signal, I believe. That's what I'm guessing. So yeah, there's different modes. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I've been doing a bunch of that and kind of replacing some of the machines slowly but surely. We'll be doing that in with greater gusto later. Now the last little bit here that we're going to do, as you notice, I think we've finished all our oil, yep, is we're going to set it up to automatically resupply these engines with fuel from this tank, and I think that's it. And then also set these up for fuel. So I have my fuel bucket now. So I'm going to say this is no longer oil, this is going to be space for fuel. I'm going to change these. Fluid in tank is fuel. Okay, now yeah, that works. I think I can just say that. Yeah, I think I can just do that. Fluid in tank is fuel. Fluid in tank is fuel, and then these guys are going to be set to. Let's see. Can I? Yeah, I can right click. Good. Space for fluid, fuel. Send out a. We're going to put a red pipe wire here. And do this with red pipe wire. It shouldn't interfere with the other pipe wires, I don't think. Let's see. And if you get a red, whoops, if you get a red pipe wire, you're gonna do a energy pulsar. Okay, so it's gonna set to do that. All right, sweet. And the same thing here. So space for fluid, it's gonna be a fuel, and it's gonna be set to, yep, that. Weirdness. It's like kind of running. It's filling up with fluid, so it's kind of going spastic, I suppose. But there it is. It's solid now. All right, there we go. And then this guy too. So if any of them needs some fuel, it'll call for it. Oops. There we go. Okay, good. And this is actually going to be a red pipe signal on, and I want an iron and gate. Darn it. Okay, actually what I need is to right click, get it back. I need to get it back. I need to get back there. Alright, well, I'm going to have to. Alright, good, good, good. Let's make it pretty again. Prettier again. And let's see, I think I can use this guy to craft an iron and alt-archic gate if we don't have one already. But we need an and gate there. Just give me 1 second. Alright, we don't have one, but if we do it this way, I think we can craft one. If we just invert it, you can do this with any gate. Where is the iron ore? Okay, this is the iron ore alt-arctic gate. If you craft it with a redstone chipset, it turns into the other type. It turns from ore to and, or and to ore. So you can always convert it. You just have to waste a chipset, so no big deal. Okay, so this is going to be set if it receives a redstone signal and fluid in the tank. Then, oh, not single energy pulse, energy pulsar. Okay, cool. There's no energy, no fluid in the tank. Huh, that's unfortunate. Cool. All right, so now these are running on fuel. Nice. And these guys are going much faster now. That one's still a little slower, but that's okay. We're doing pretty well here. Awesome. All right. I think that does it. Yeah, I think that actually does it. So this is a working system now. We can put the things right there. Make it nice and good. Yeah, we can make it look nicer if we wanted to, but that's looking pretty good so far because it is working. Look at that. Yeah, it is working. All right, guys. Well, we did it. We set up our refinery now. We can start refining. It's doing it all on its own, so it is supplying oil automatically to the refineries, just as long as we have stuff in here. And this sends a signal to let the when there's oil in the back of these refineries, it lets our little power plant know to supply power and start the refining process. It's automatically pulled out and placed into here, which is for the power plant. Once this gets full, then it sends it to the main power plant in our system so that it keeps this full. And when this is not full, it sends a signal out, or when it is full, it sends a signal out that basically stops all production of oil because we don't need it anymore because there's nowhere for it to go. So it's got an automatic stop, and it's otherwise just automatically running constantly and never have to go down here again. We even have a fail-safe to stop this from running if the engine gets red. So cool. That's great. This is working great, guys. Alright, guys, I think that'll do it for this episode. Thank you again for watching, and stay tuned to episode 30. We'll probably be putting in a new power plant upstairs, so this will look a little different than it does now, and it did before. So we're going to be using dynamos, because we need to generate thermal expansion power. Yep, so yeah, we'll be demolishing this whole thing. If I haven't already before episode 30, we'll be doing it in episode 30. So, thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next episode. Bye-bye now.